Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have joined us. Steve Post and Aaron Evernham here. Aaron, how are you?
I'm doing well. Very well.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh, everything is good, rocking and rolling. Maybe some better weather. My
Yeah, I was
gosh,
gonna
last
say,
week was depressing, wasn't it?
Not a lot to watch this past week.
No, there really wasn't. So it was like last week. All of a sudden, you're hitting Wednesday, and this one's canceling. And Thursday, this one. It was a bloodbath in Ohio and
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. And when you're talking, I mean, obviously the World of Outlaws were at Eldora. You have the 3 tracks running in Pennsylvania, and then you throw in your Lernervilles, your Wayne counties, and everyone, And the next thing you know, it's like, wow, it's just like cancellation after
Yeah.
cancellation after cancellation. Hate it. But fingers crossed. We got some midweek
Let's
racing
hope.
coming up this week. So at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway. So we'll see what happens. So we have a great program because what racing there was really, really good. We have Parker Price Miller coming up. What an inspirational story that is. Picked up the win at Huset's on Saturday or Sunday night. And then Scotty Thiel, the big wheel, picked up an IRA win. Watched part of the IRA races. I watched a couple heat races and I think the B main, and then I went to bed.
Yeah, I didn't make the
but
feature on that one.
So I watched a little bit of the IRA, and it looks like they're doing well. They were at a new track for them, Sycamore. So we'll talk to the big wheel, Scotty Thiel. I have a friend, Scott Deal, and I know I'm going to mess this up.
Yeah.
So anyhow, great show, that's for sure. Let's get into it. Our Hefner Racing product hot topics. Okay. Going to go I'm going to stay in sprint car racing, but going to talk a little Darlington Throwback. There were 2 cars that have connection to the sprint car world. Do you have the same notes or not?
I definitely do.
You do not have the same notes. Okay, because
No.
I'm looking at yours and mine.
Yeah,
They
well,
don't
and
look
I'm
the same.
thinking, no, definitely.
Oh, well, I'll just follow along.
All right. You're in charge.
Boy, you are screwed. Oh, you are
For
screwed.
now.
For now.
For now.
Darlington Throwback Weekend, Eric Almirola had a Sam Rodriguez car. Sam is his grandfather. Sam was a 3-time Tampa Bay Auto Racing Association champion. Between 1984 and 94, he had 90 victories.
Wow.
So Eric is in a unique spot. If you don't follow NASCAR, this is his final season. He's announced it. And we had a quick interview with him during the practice show, and I asked him about it, and he says, ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to run my grandfather's color, and it was a 03 car. I couldn't run the 03, obviously. He says, ever since I was a little kid, I dreamed of driving my grandfather's car.
Oh, that's it.
And so he did it at Darlington. And just neat. I am going off the reservation here, I am a fan of Throwback Weekend because of stories like that.
Yeah, me too.
There was Stuart Friesen had Jack Johnson on his.
Yep.
I mean, and that's my
your
childhood.
world.
Yeah, exactly. So,
And Joey Logano had Silver City Quarter Midget.
We'll follow your notes. Follow your notes.
Oh,
We're good
I don't
here.
have
See,
any
you're
notes
jumping
to
at.
follow.
Oh, this woman's out of control here. The second one is Dean Thompson. Okay, Dean is a rookie in the truck series, driving for Nice Motorsports. Okay. There is a legendary sprint car racer in California named Dean Thompson. No kin. In fact, young Dean was born in 2001. Sprint car Dean died in 2003. But they're both from California. Dean, the truck series driver, said, I've been asked about this guy a million times because we have the same name.
Yeah.
Why not throw it back? And they threw it back to Dean Thompson, his traditional sprint car. Now, Dean Thompson is a 3-time CRA champion and has 111 sprint car wins out in California. So I just think this is what I love about Throwback Weekend. It's, we're going to have a Black 3, we're going to have a Wrangler car, we're going to have a Valvoline car, we're going to have all of the regulars, okay?
Yeah.
But I love when we get down deep and tell some stories like this.
And make a connection to our
The sprint car world.
Yeah.
Yeah, like last year or 2 years ago, Michael Annette had Sammy's car.
Yeah.
Oh, kidding me? I mean, that baby, that looked right. So it was good. Okay, so there's my second one. Now, if you were following along with your notes.
If you
had some notes. The third one, the race winner was Joey Logano. Lots and lots and lots of conversation about Joey Logano winning that race and how he did it. Okay, and that's fine. We can leave that for another channel, another time, another place, another social media outlet where people scream at each other. Joey, though, had his first quarter midget on the car from Silver City Quarter Midget Club in Meriden, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. It had Smokin' Joe, is what his dad
Yeah.
called him, and it had that on the car. You have a little history at Silver City as well.
Yeah, that's where I grew up racing quarter midgets. From well, I don't want to age myself, but here I go. From 1988 till about 97.
You raced there.
So I was just before Logano. He was starting as I was.
Well, just as good. You might have got wrecked by him there. Oh, did I say that out loud?
You might have treated me like William Byron.
Like William Byron. Ryan Preece cut his teeth there. Doug Colby was the guy, the NASCAR Wheel and Modify guy. You raced with Doug.
Still a good friend, yeah.
And then World of Outlaw racer David Gravel. That's where he started. So isn't that cool how that racetrack has spawned so many
It really
greats?
has. And then a lot that have just stayed in the modified world, like Eric Byrne, some of them that didn't really go national. But, yeah, there was a lot of successful drivers that have come out of quarter.
Dylan Welch, who is our pit reporter, and you can he does some work on Flow, and he works for NBC. He was talking about going over there in quarter midget and racing over there.
Yeah.
And how he went over there, and that racetrack he was talking about, that's a place that has just spawned a lot of talent. Sort of like the Indiana, the quarter midget track at Indianapolis is like that. I mean, it's like there's
race some grand nationals there.
Yeah, so fun stuff. Throwback weekend, good stuff. That's for sure. Had a good time. Let's talk sprint car racing, specifically Knoxville, with all of the rainouts. Some of the outlaw teams. I thought this was a bigger invasion than it was. It wasn't as many as I thought.
Yeah, I thought more of them would have gone.
I thought more would have gone as well. It didn't really matter because Carson Macedo went. And when you have Phil Dietz wrenching a car and Carson Macedo driving a car at Knoxville, did you watch any of the highlights or anything?
Yeah.
I am telling you, when he went down on the inside of Justin Henderson in turn number 1, it's like, coming through.
Well, yeah, it's a little Logano-ish, but not as bad.
No, I mean, he just put it, he just,
he gave him a little wheel. I mean, it was, I'm
here. I'm coming through.
Yeah.
So the Carson Macedo picked up the win over Sam Hafertepe Jr. Sam is our guest on the television show later this week. You and I did that yesterday. Great interview, and good to see Sam have some speed there.
Yeah.
I mean, we love Sam Hafertepe, and he won his heat race, and he dropped back, and then he came back at the end and rolled forward. So it was good stuff. Up at Huset, it was Parker Price Miller. We're going to talk to PPM. Of course, his story dealing with the cancer that he's dealing with, and this is treatment week. So we're in between treatments. We're going to talk to him.
Yeah.
I mean, he got one yesterday, and I think he's getting one later today.
Hauled butt home from Huset to get there.
Yeah, with a trophy.
Yeah, that helps.
That does help. IRA bumper-to-bumper sprints. Scotty Thiel picked up the win at Sycamore. And the Butler Battlegrounds, Ricky Peterson picked up the win. This is a track in Quincy, Michigan, one of those standout places that runs its own deal, and 410 sprint cars are still there weekly. New management at the track, Tim and Jenny Wilbur, sounded good. I shared, I'll relive because we recorded the TV show. I've had a love-hate relationship with Butler. Lately, it's been more love than hate. I just have seen in the past, historically, seen some disastrous nights of racing there. Just long, drawn-out shows. The last time I was there, it was really good. It was great. And I love the racers there. The Wilburs took it over. They purchased it in December. And there was a lot of positive feedback on social media. And in complete honesty, Butler doesn't generally get a lot of positive feedback on social media.
Most people don't, or things don't get positive feedback.
Well, that's true, too. That's
media.
true. But it was good. So kudos to the Wilburs for taking over the track and getting off to a good start. I was looking at the calendar, and when we're in Michigan, I'm going to head down to Quincy and have another good experience at Butler. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I love the racers up there, and I would set my expectations really, really low, go walk the pits and talk to the racers, and then just take the rest of the night as it was. And there were some nights I left before the sprint car feature because I just could not hang any longer. Last time there, it was really, really good. And it sounds like the Wilburs. I'm excited about it because it's a neat place. It
Mm-hmm.
really is. So, and congratulations to Ricky Peterson getting the win. So there you have it. Our Hefner Racing product hot topics. HRP knows sprint car racing, therefore they know what works best for your team, and no other accessory can match quality, performance, and design. Top trailer builders use HRP accessories to outfit their stock and custom built units. They can roster includes something for every racer, every team, every trailer, every shop. If you have a trailer, you need to go to www.hrpracing.com and get your trailer outfitted. That's for sure. Don't settle for anything less than Sprint Car Racing's #1 accessory manufacturer, Hefner Racing Products. www.hrpracing.com. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to fire up the Sage Fruit Hotline as Parker Price Miller, he joins us next. Sage Fruit is a premium grower, packer, and shipper of Washington tree fruit. Apples, pears, and cherries, and it's always an exceptional eating experience, and they're grown in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Not only is their produce healthy, but they are grown with such care and precision that you can count on each piece of fruit having exceptional flavor. High-quality fruit, exceptional flavor, healthy snacking. Make sure when you go to your local grocery store, ask for Sage Fruit.
Just like racing components, Aggressive Hydraulics purpose-builds hydraulic cylinders to perform for customer-specific applications. They design and manufacture mobile-style, single-stage cylinders as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. It's a no one-size-fits-all approach with Aggressive Hydraulics. Hydraulic solutions for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. They proudly design and manufacture all cylinders in the United States. Check out the video of their story at aggressivehydraulics.com.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength, talking sprint car racing. And when we talk about the 2022 season and when we look back at it, I think one of the things we're going to talk about is the inspiring story of Parker Price Miller. Joins us on the Sage Fruit Hotline. A lot to unpack, a lot to uncover here. But Parker, first off, welcome into Wing Nation. Good to catch up with you, man.
Yeah, I feel like I was just on not too long ago, but it's always good to be back and talking with you guys.
Yeah. You're doing a lot of things. That's a good sign. You're doing a lot of things. How neat was it with all you got going on in your life and world to win that race Sunday night up at Huset's?
It was a lot. It meant a lot to me. Before the race, all I was thinking about was wanting to win the race and gonna, obviously try my hardest and drive my hardest to win. And after I took the checker, it was just kind of like a huge. I felt like I won a super big race, which I know is only a local show, but super emotional. I was trying my hardest to, hold back tears and not cry in front of everyone. But rolling around the racetrack, I took an extra few laps to get myself composed because I was definitely the tears were flowing for me for sure.
Parker, I watched an interview I think that you did at Knoxville, and you talked about how some people kind of counted you out this year just because of what you're going through and how that inspired you and has lit a fire underneath you. Talk about what that has been like with everything else you're dealing with to feel like you've been counted out and how you've turned that into a good thing.
I just kind of let it, drive me more. I didn't really say anything about it just because, I don't want people to think that I'm asking for people to, we want to, mention Parker Price Miller, the 11 team. But I knew in my heart and in my mind that, we were going to be tough and I was going to give it my 100%. But I guess other people just didn't really see it. And, that's their fault. And, but yeah, it's like I said, I don't usually cuss that much, but it pissed me off pretty bad. You know, obviously I have a lot going on, and I guess I could see where people might have think that I'm not going to be at every race or not going to be as strong as I once was. But I honestly feel like I'm better than what I have been, and I've kind of look at things a lot differently now. I used to try and drive to impress, other people or, do it for other people. And now selfishly, I just do it for myself and do what makes me happy. And if I have a bad night, I have a bad night. But in the world, I used to have a bad night and dwell on it. And there's a lot of other things to be thankful for other than racing. With the stuff I've been going through, I've kind of learned that. So, yeah, just I kept receipts of everyone who we're going to be up there, and my plan is to prove everyone wrong. So,
Yeah.
and I think we're doing that right now, and just got to keep being strong.
I love the perspective. I really, truly do. One of the things that has been interesting about the journey that you've been on, and you've talked about it, and your 11 team there have been times when you've not been available. How important was it for the team to go race? I mean, there were times you were there, and then there was other times you weren't. How important was it to keep that car fast, to keep the pace going, so when you slid back into it, that team never missed a beat? How important were those weeks? As difficult as they had to be, how important were those weeks for you guys?
It was very important. Everyone starts or not everyone, but most of the full-time teams, they start their season in Florida, and when you're not racing, you're not doing anything. And, it was important for them to, go racing. And, obviously that's their job. And even though it is their job, they love it, or else they wouldn't be doing it. So they want to go race just as much as I do. And, I wasn't going to hold. Obviously, Kerry is a really good driver and, knows the car really well. So he was going to give good feedback and, help us, tires change every year. Stuff just changes. To get those races under our belts and under the team's belt and figure out, okay, well, this isn't working, this is working. It was huge, and we thank Kerry a lot for doing that. And hopefully I don't have to miss any more races, and it's looking like I don't have to, but yeah, it was huge for the team to, go do that. And I encouraged them to go do that also. And I actually got to go and hang out and watch too, and kind of, be there with Kerry and the team, and try and comprehend what was going on with the race car too.
Parker, it seems like the biggest victory that you've really had this year is when you've had those scans and found out that the chemo was working, and now has allowed you to get back in the car a little bit sooner. I appreciate how open you've been through all of this. All of us that are behind you and support you get to kind of go with you on the journey. What was it like to get those results and know that the chemo is working? You might not have to do those last 2 treatments of chemo, and you can move on to radiation.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know around with chemo. I'm upset talking about it. It was really tough. Man, it's a monster, and a lot easier for some patients in different areas of their body. Radiation is actually tougher, but thankfully, the radiation has been very easy on my ankle and my leg. So, yeah, just to hear those results that it didn't have to do around 4 and 5 was, man, it was, a God's gift for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. So you are down now, and you and I chatted just a little bit up at Attica. You are working on the final spot down on your ankle. I know you had treatment yesterday, and I think I read somewhere you're going to do 4 or 5 rounds this week. What's the prognosis? What's the timeline going forward with all of this?
I must have cut out because I was actually talking, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
up in a bad area.
we've lost a little bit of contact with you. Yeah, we had a cutout situation there. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right. But what was your question? Because I only heard about half of it. I apologize.
No, sorry. We have a bad connection. The going forward, you're in the middle of some treatment this week. What's the timeline going forward for you as far as the treatment goes and the prospects on all of it as you're down now to just concentrating on the ankle?
Yeah. So basically, my original plan was to do 5 weeks or 4 rounds a week for 5 weeks straight. Getting me 20 rounds. So last week it worked out where Eldora canceled and I could kind of squeeze in Friday. So I got 5 rounds that week, and then uh, my guys, you know, hauled all the way home yesterday so I could get back in time to try and do 5 rounds this week. And so I'm going to try and do 5 rounds this week, which will make 10. And then the All-Star season kind of gets really busy in the next few weeks. And my goal is at least do 4 a week. So that way, because my doctor said, the longer you wait, the more chance it is to grow back or, not get all of it. So I want to do my best job to try and get it all. So that's the plan right now, and I have no problem with doing the 5 a week. Luckily, I've had no burns, no pain, a little bit of tightness and loss of range of motion, but I've been doing physical therapy along with all of this, and trying to work out and run, and just kind of maintain how I've been before it.
Parker, I have a close friend who's been fighting cancer for unfortunately a long time, and I know she always talks about, she looks forward to the day when that's not the topic of conversation when you discuss it with her. Along those lines, how nice has it been to have racing, to be able to get to the racetrack and kind of forget about all that and just get in the car and do your job?
Oh yeah, it's really nice. I don't mind people, talking about it, and because obviously, fans care about you and they want to know. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you're just like, man, I don't want to have to explain the whole story again. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, the racetrack. As soon as I get in the race car, I kind of like away from everyone, and I, don't think anything else besides trying to win a race and do my job. So that's when I get in the race car, that's kind of where I feel the most calm. Because when you're still at the racetrack, you still kind of have to, interact with all the fans, and that's part of being a race car driver too. It's part of the motions, and I don't want to be that guy who, doesn't talk to fans, or it's kind of a, not so nice and friendly. So I try and do my best to, keep everyone involved and know how I'm doing, like I have been on Twitter. And but yeah, it's the racing has kept me going for sure. I don't know what I would have been doing without racing, just because it's kind of something that I've worked myself towards. Like, all right, I got to get healthy, I got to do this. I want to get back and I want to get better.
You've had your health battle. Obviously, you've talked about it so much. Um, if have you talked to the doctors or anybody about your fitness routine prior to the discovery, during this? How important being healthy, being fit? We always talk about fitness as far as not falling out of the seat at the end of a race, those type of things that obviously you're all conscious of. But I would have to think that you're just being a healthy kid has probably helped you through this process as well.
Yeah, well, I before we found the cancer, I was having leg pain and ankle pain for up until February of 2019 is as far as I can go back. And
Hmm.
uh, it was to the point where in 2020 I could barely even walk at the one and only Knoxville Nationals, or whatever they called that, COVID Nationals. And I finally went and got it checked out, and they thought I had a bone spur, which was causing all the pain, and I had surgery on it. And so before that, I was in such pain that I couldn't even go run or go work out. So I was kind of becoming, I wasn't really unhealthy, but I wasn't as fit as I was before then. And now that ever since the first round of chemo, I've had zero pain because the tumor has been shrinking, and I don't have any more leg pain, and I've been able to run and work out. So I think now the past month or two, that's honestly the best I've felt for the past 2 years. And I don't plan on stopping it because I feel really good. And I did get a little wore out at Attica. That was my first 40 lapper since the treatment, and I was definitely fell out of the seat. But I try not to show it to my guys because I don't want to make that an excuse. But I was definitely tired. But I can tell each week I'm getting stronger. I can go harder and go longer, and just definitely feel a lot better each week in the race car.
That's awesome. Parker, switching topics a little bit, your win on Sunday was also a neat Mother's Day gift for your mom. And I saw a post that you put on Twitter about your mom, and I appreciated that. Being a mom myself, and race car drivers don't typically get too emotional or sentimental. So I appreciated your little nod to your mom. How important have your family and friends been on this whole journey as well?
Huge. Friends and family are everything, and I've kind of made it a point to kind of have. I've always had a really good relationship with my family, and really close. But with racing, with my schedule, like my week during the week is kind of when I'm free, and then I'm busy on the weekends. And my friends from high school and baseball and all that stuff, they're busy during the week, and their weekends are obviously regular weekends like most people. So I kind of lost that touch with all my friends, and I would stay in contact, but I kind of made it a point to build those relationships back up, and and have that there. But my friends were there for me. My family was always there for me, and it's huge when you're having a bad day or sick at home. There's times where I was on the couch or in bed for a week straight and couldn't do anything, and people would bring me stuff or come see me, and it was nice to not just sit there and watch TV and actually talk to people or hang out with someone. So that was always nice too.
Amazing stuff. It really, truly is. We so much appreciate you talking to us about your journey and sharing it on your social media. And like you, we look forward to the day where we're not talking about that and we're talking more about those wins and how the car is and all that other stuff. And you're continuing to do that. But Parker, we appreciate your time today. Congratulations on the success. Good luck. I think it's I-96, Wayne County and Waynesfield this weekend. We wish you the best this weekend and on throughout, but we appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I always enjoy talking to you guys, and hopefully I'm on here a few more times talking about more race wins. So, but yeah, thank you guys again, and hope you guys have a good week.
Thanks.
Thank
You too.
you.
Yep. Wow.
Thank you.
Parker Price Miller joining us on the Sage Fruit Hotline. A lot of chills during that, listening to him. I hate we had some bad phone connection there at one point when he was talking about some pretty serious and pretty heavy stuff. I hate we missed that. I think we got the sense of what he's dealing with. I just think it's amazing that right now he feels stronger than he has in the last 2 years.
Yeah, that there was so much pain, and
So
as
much
soon as he had
pain.
some treatment, the
Yeah.
pain went away.
The pain went away with that ankle. I guess he's a runner. I think he told me he's a runner, and so obviously if you can't walk, well, you can't, so it's gotten that back. Neat stuff. Man, I'll tell you what a cool deal. We wish Parker and his team continued success as they roll along through the season, and Parker continued success as he continues with his battle. Hopefully, it seems like we're headed down the home stretch on this, and that's good news. So appreciate him joining us. When we come back, the big wheel, Scotty Thiel, he joins us next here on Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires.
Circle B Diecast is the new diecast outlet from Plan B Sales. What started as Lionel and Chase Authentics apparel distributor has grown into the largest distributor of diecast and now includes Auto World Greenlight Collectibles, Brand Art, Sam Bass Artwork, and University of Racing lines. They have a huge inventory. The folks at Circle B Diecast love racing and support drivers like Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and many others with sponsorships and partnerships. And on orders over $20, use promo code MRN for free shipping. Check them out, circlebdiecast.com.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Hercules Tires, right on our strength, continues on. Let's go right back to it. The Sage Fruit Hotline joining us fresh off from a win at Sycamore Speedway in Maple Park, Illinois. The big wheel, Scotty Thiel, joins us. Hello, Scotty. Welcome back to Wing Nation. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Good. Tell us about that win. A new racetrack for y'all on Saturday night. Tell me about getting that win up there in Illinois.
Yeah, so it was like 35 years since they ran sprint cars at this place, and I mean I've heard of it, just never really seen it or anything like that. So it was pretty cool. It had different, some uniqueness to it. 1 and 2 was completely different than 3 and 4, and provided some technicality to it, and just added some character. So just racing a lot this year and being at different places, you just kind of have to be, pretty diverse with your car and your driving style and stuff like that. And everything worked out pretty well for us. Just had to, they qualifying was kind of not. I didn't think it was super bad. They had to redo the racetrack a little bit after it, and then they went pretty extreme in the heat. So it was kind of follow the leader, but then it definitely got racy again for the dashes feature, and put on a really good show for the fans. So I was happy with it.
Scotty, you mentioned before we went on the air that going off and running with the Outlaws and the All-Stars, and as you said, getting your butt whooped really helps you pick up your game when you come back and race with the, who you're used to racing with, the IRA. Talk about that. Is it what you guys learn as far as working with the car or things, or is it even as you as a driver? You step up your game because those guys are just on it every lap, every moment, or is it just a combination of both those things?
Yeah, it's definitely, we don't really I guess what I'm trying to get at with that is we were out in Ohio and Pennsylvania with the All-Stars the weekend prior, and finally got on Ohio slick tracks, and we just haven't really had that opportunity ever, especially even around here. It gets slick, but there's still a cushion to bang off of, and or a bottom to kind of just tiptoe around. And so really having to get creative with the car and getting it to hook up to those kind of racetracks, we just never went aggressive enough. And out at Sharon, we finally did, and then we had a little mishap where we just ran out of fuel in that B and whatever. But coming back home, and then it started getting slick again, and there was a cushion, but it wasn't really built up. It was kind of marbly almost. So you could utilize it, but you still had to be good getting down the straightaways that were, glass slick. And so utilizing what we learned out there, coming back home, but then also, definitely the driving styles. I mean, the Outlaws, you can't ever get off of offense. If you go on defense at all, you're just getting ate up. And it's the same with the All-Stars. Those guys, they attack the racetrack every single lap 100%. So just being more aggressive on the wheel and driving harder and harder. And, I feel like it definitely helps us when we do come back home and, kind of picking through lap traffic and not hesitating, just making a dive bomb move and getting it around them cars. So we kind of showed that a little bit on Saturday. There was a couple times where I hesitated, just, we had, 3 or 4 lap cars right in front of us, and it was hard to kind of pick your way through. But, as soon as I had a split second opportunity, I did it. And then, once the other guys got there, they, got held up a little bit and maybe weren't as aggressive, and that just was able for us to capitalize and build a bigger lead. So yeah, it's definitely a few different things, car and driving. But regardless, it definitely shows and helps when we do come back home and race against, the competition that we've raced with for a long time.
The process of getting to this point, you started off the season, we saw you over in Pennsylvania, then you went to Texas with the Outlaws, I-55, then to Lernerville and Sharon. How far out have you been working on a plan to be able to do this, you and your team? Is it something you just talked about last year? Was it a 3-year plan? Is it the beginning of a 3-year plan? Where are you at in that whole process of expanding what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so 2021 was just a whole new year for all of us involved in this whole 73 team operation. And so year one, was kind of just trying to gel and learning each other on, how I do things and how they did things, and just really trying to build that overall team atmosphere when we went to the racetrack. And, I think, well, we had a month off, which kind of hurt us because I got hurt. And, that was right in the busy season of things. But once we came back, we had speed that we had found and then started cracking off a few wins. So year two, was kind of like, okay, what's the next step? Do we do the exact same thing, or do we try to, what are we trying to get to, like you said? And, we were able to pick up a couple new partners with Walkers and Southcam and Muddy, and, definitely changed the financial ends of things of, okay, well, what can we go and do? Now, my budget for fuel in December is out the window at that what it is now.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
regardless, we looked at it like, do we try to follow something now or pick and choose and just, go get our butts whooped, maybe try to capitalize on that, the next time we come back with them, come back home and try to, capitalize on everything that we learned and maybe win and pad the checkbook back up and then get back on the road. So we kind of, without directly saying it, we ended up kind of doing that, picking and choosing and hitting, quality shows with the All-Stars, the Outlaws, that makes sense. And then, if they're all within a certain radius, okay, then we'll definitely do that. If they're outside of that radius, then we'll stay back home and run an IRA show or maybe a MOA show or whatever. And it just allows us to, not spend everything, because we definitely showed that we spent a lot of money going to Texas and Pennsylvania and all that stuff, and weather didn't help us with that. But, okay, like this weekend, everything got rained out and a lot of guys went to Knoxville. That was our initial plan. But it was like, man, we just came off of a weekend out in PA and Ohio that wasn't spectacular. We didn't bring home a lot of money. Sycamore was 2.5 hours, Knoxville 6 for us. So it's like, well, let's go down there and try to win $3,000 rather than who knows what could happen in Knoxville. And, it showed that there was definitely a few stout cars that didn't make the feature. And $700 in fuel is tough when you don't make the show.
Yeah.
And, so, just having that luxury, I guess, not being locked into a series helps kind of make things, okay, where are we going to go this week? But it also is tough sometimes because then I want to go maybe somewhere and the guys don't. But I think we've got a good plan in place on just using year two as dipping our feet in a little bit further and maybe trying to prepare ourselves for a full-time thing, in year three. And hopefully, we can showcase our new partners that, we're the real deal and we're not here just to kind of play around. And hopefully that helps get them to the next level, which gets us to the next level. And I think that plan is working out all right. And but you still need a solid crew that everybody gels with to get to that point. And that's kind of why we stepped back from the full-time thing this year, just because we didn't have everybody 100% on board to let's go on the road full-time. So this works. It works for everybody, and I'm content with it.
Well, I see that you're 2 for 2 now with the IRA. Is it hard not to get sucked into that and then say, yeah, I want to go for the championship? We talked to Wayne Johnson earlier in the year, who swore he wouldn't go for ASCS points and didn't want it, wasn't fun. And then a week later, he announced he was going for points.
Because he was leading the points.
Because he was leading. So is it
Right.
tempting? I mean, obviously the points fund is probably important as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that IRA thing for a long
Mhm.
time, and I know what you're going to spend to do it and what you're going to get out of it. I've had people ask me, do you have a chip on your shoulder from not winning any championships with them? And really, I don't. It's nice to race back home, but that also kind of defeats the purpose of what we're trying to build here.
Mhm.
Nothing against that series at all, but you can get comfortable with them. And I feel like you need to go out on the road and like I said before, get your butt whooped, and that's the only way you're going to learn and get better, and not get in that comfortable feeling, because it just kind of defeats you when you go out. Okay, yeah, you go win 1-2 races now, and then just got to get humbled once in a while and not just think you can go out and win every single race, because that's not the case. You always hope you can do that, but it's reality. So I feel like, yeah, we're leading the points, whatever, but I think we'll see what happens as the season goes. There's definitely races coming up here that we are planning on missing from their schedule, and I'm definitely okay with that. We have a plan. We have a goal for year 3. I hope that we can get to, and I don't think we can really look at a championship thing to worry about that. Let's just go try to do well at big shows. If we need to come back home and try to win some races, and we'll do that. But I don't think that championship thing is definitely anything that we're looking at or really worry about. So if we can run 15 races with them and maybe win, 60%, I don't know where that would put us in points, but at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not too worried about it.
Stick to the plan, that's for sure. Final question for you, and in my opinion, the most important question. How does a man get on a Gibbsville cheese deal here? How can we,
I knew it had to do with
food. It had to do with food. No, I was in a grocery store in Wisconsin when I went up to Road America last year, and I found some Gibbsville cheese curds. They were outstanding. So it's got to be good to have good snacks while you're on the road.
Oh yeah, definitely. We gotta watch it once in a while. Can't get too bad out of shape with that. But no, Gibbsville cheese is an amazing product, and we try to pack the cooler with the stuff when we get on the road and hand them out to guys, because they definitely appreciate that. And I think we're just so used to not only Gibbsville, but there's probably 20 local-ish cheese, makers around our area, and they're all amazing. So we're just kind of prone to having that. And then when people outside of the state get the chance to have it, it's like, they're just shocked on how amazing it is. So, yeah, we'll definitely have to make sure when we see you guys that we have plenty in the cooler for you and get you stocked up there. So.
That's a plan. Yeah, I was happy when I walked in that grocery store that I saw their brand there. You're right, because I go to Wisconsin and it's fascinating. Between the spotted cow and the cheese, it's like, oh my gosh, it's a little slice of heaven up there. And I was so glad I saw Gibbsville cheese and bought some there just because they support you guys as well. Well, Scotty, I'll tell you what, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Congratulations on the success. We look forward to year 2 of the plan and see how you guys continue to go and how you continue to grow as a team. It's been fun to watch so far.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it very much, and thanks for having me on. And yeah, we'll see what else the season has in store for us.
There we go. The big wheel, Scotty Thiel, joining us on the Sage Fruit Hotline. I love it. I love the very calculated plan.
Very calculated, yeah.
To the extent of the December fuel budget, well, that didn't work out in April.
No.
Which that doesn't work out for anybody this year. It's going to be fun to watch. You keep an eye on him.
Mm-hmm.
The game plan per their press release was I-96 and Wayne County this week with the All-Stars. And again, he's going to get Wayne County, particularly, he's going to get dry slick, Ohio track, weather and all of that other thing. And then they have Waynesfield on Sunday night. I think that was the game plan as well. So it'll be fun to watch Scotty Thiel work it there as he's continued to grow that Team 73 plan. Fun stuff. Hey, stay with us. More Wing Nation in just a moment.
Circle B Diecast is the new diecast outlet from Plan B Sales. What started as Lionel and Chase Authentics apparel distributor has grown into the largest distributor of diecast and now includes Auto World Greenlight Collectibles, Brand Art, Sam Bass Artwork, and University of Racing lines. They have a huge inventory. The folks at Circle B Diecast love racing and support drivers like Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and many others with sponsorships and partnerships. And on orders over $20, use promo code MRN for free shipping. Check them out, circlebdiecast.com.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, We have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Just like racing components, Aggressive Hydraulics purpose-builds hydraulic cylinders to perform for customer-specific applications. They design and manufacture mobile-style, single-stage cylinders as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. It's a no one-size-fits-all approach with Aggressive Hydraulics. Hydraulic solutions for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. They proudly design and manufacture all cylinders in the United States. Check out the video of their story at aggressivehydraulics.com.
Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Aaron Evernham and Steve Post just having a ball. What a great show, talking to PPM and the Big Wheel. Oh,
Great
man.
interviews.
Great interviews, great stuff, great insight. Love our sprint car guys. I want to do something. I was going to do it later on. I want to do it right now. If you are enjoying Wing Nation, we hope you are, subscribe to whatever channel. If you're listening on Spotify, if you're watching the YouTube channel, subscribe and do us a favor. Share it with your friends. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I was listening to a guy that has kind of a motivational podcast. And he says, the only way these podcasts really grow is if people subscribe and share.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, I said, we have great numbers. We have great people that we go to the sprint car race. They love it. They love it. They love it. And we appreciate that. And we love hearing that. And we love what we do. But he was talking about the only way to really grow things, you could spend a fortune on advertising. None of us have the fortune to spend on advertising, is for Wing Nation listeners and viewers to subscribe and forward it.
Yeah.
Retweet
Share
it.
it.
Share it. So we appreciate if you would do that. I had a note to make that at the end, and I said, no, I'm just going to do it right now before we get into our National Sprint Car Hall of Fame birthday calendar. Later this week, Walt James, Oscar Red Garnett, Laverne Nance. Today, Tom Schmay.
Oh, my buddy.
Yeah, I love Tom Schmay. He's a Facebook friend of mine. And he always has AGD.
Another good day.
Another good day. Yep, no doubt about it. His good day today was that his local coffee shop was featured on the cover of the local Penny Saver newspaper. Tom Schmay.
Yes.
Jim Cheney, Johnny Hannon, Burl Ward. A lot of birthdays today. And today, the birthday of 2015 inductee Roger Beck. Started off racing stock cars, midgets, and sprint cars, and then went to work for Mickey Thompson. And then Eddie Kuzma building Indy cars, Champ cars, and sprint cars. Also worked some stints with A.J. Watson and Ted Hallebrand. He also influenced them, and he designed his own sprint car. And your buddy, Aaron, got one of them, Speedy Bill Smith. Speedy Bill got one. And, well, when Speedy Bill gets his hands on a good race car, you know what's happening. They're winning races. And his chassis, his cars won a lot. Jan Opperman, Lloyd Beckman had a lot of success in his cars. 1970, Joe Saldana won the Knoxville Nationals in one of Roger Beck's cars. Wow. Jan Opperman in 1971 took it to Pennsylvania and won 26 times. Eddie Levitt won the Knoxville Nationals in 1975. You got a two-time winner of the Nationals, plus a lot of championships. You deserve then to be in the Hall of Fame, and Roger Beck is in the Hall of Fame. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, one sprint car place, Knoxville, Iowa, gearing up for their June 4th Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Bob Frey, Eric Gordon, Terry Gray, Tim Green, Tony Stewart are the drivers. Ralph Heinzelman Sr., Walter T. Ross, and Dennis Roth. Johnny Gibson, Jack Cromer, Robin Miller, and Melvin Slim Rutherford are the inductees this year. June 4th, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and the museum. Sprint Car Stuff. If you want to buy something good for the host of this show, go to Sprint Car Stuff. And that's one of our favorite websites. Mm-hmm. This week, Aaron, we don't have to wait, and we get right in the deep water. Tomorrow night, the Commonwealth Clash at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway. Mm-hmm. Posse versus Outlaws. You know Dietrich's, the way he's rolling at Lincoln this year.
Yeah, he's going to be.
He's got to be just absolutely. He won't sleep tonight.
I saw a picture. He had all the rigs all cleaned up, ready to go.
Oh, he's got them all spit shined and everything. Mm-hmm. Dietrich's in there. He's got Lincoln rolling.
He does.
Really good. But this is the world of outlaws too. And then we go Friday and Saturday to Morgan Cup at Williams Grove. This one here to me is like, we always talk. This is the first big test. You know, how good is Macri? How good is Marks? How good is Lance? How good is Danny? How good is Freddie? How good is yada yada? Go right down the list. And Williams Grove this year's been interesting because kids like Dylan Norris have won some races, and Devin Borden.
Yep.
I don't know. It's going to be fun. It really is. It always is when the Outlaws roll in there. Out on the other side of the country, it is Peter Murphy Classic weekend for the NARC and the King of the West Series. This is neat how they do this. They're doing now 2 different tracks. Yeah. Friday night, they go to Tulare at Thunderbolt Raceway, and Saturday to Peter's Keller Auto Speedway. Saturday night, $11,000 to win. There's a lot of money for a lot of different things. If you sneeze at the right time, you can win money.
Peter's got something for you.
Peter Murphy's got something for you. Yes, exactly. If you pass Dominic Selzy into turn number 3 on lap 17, there's bonus money. I mean, he's got it all. They're going to be running for all kinds of money out there. We love what Peter's doing. It's the Peter Murphy Classic. The All-Stars, we mentioned this a little bit. I-96 Friday, Wayne County on Saturday, Waynesfield on Sunday. We don't have time in this afternoon to list all of the sprint car races. We are all hands on deck. So if you have a sprint car track near you, they are racing, and you need to get your butt there. So fun stuff for sure. So good, great show. Great show, that's for sure. You can follow us on our social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, and our YouTube page, where all of these interviews are housed. Thursday, our podcast series continues on with a surprise. Surprise even to us. We're still working on it. So, okay. Oh, not a surprise anymore. Oh, Justin Adams. You're going to, wow, you are in for a treat. You know Justin. He's so great.
Justin for a long time.
Justin is I guess he's crew chief. He's crew chief for, no, he's not crew chief. He runs everything at Case KKR.
Director or whatever.
But he was he was crew chief, and I think for, I think he was crew chiefing for what's his name, McFadden.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he's doing this. You're gonna you got to tune in on Thursday to find out. But one of the greatest guys.
Yeah.
I mean, he is so cool.
He always is low key. You don't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's just a wealth of knowledge.
One of my favorite things they do, KKR, and I've talked about 305 racing and the Carolina Sprint Tour.
Yeah.
One of the great things KKR does is they do an open house in the fall where a lot of their gently used 410 stuff, sprint car parts and pieces are available at deep discounts for the 305 racers, the local racers. This thing last time, everyone's standing around having a beer, and someone asked Justin a question, and then someone else got asked a question. Brandon McLean kind of put together, it was a Q&A session. The next thing you know, these 305 racers had a 45-minute master's course in sprint cars.
Seminar.
Yeah. It was phenomenal. And Justin, you're right, he's so low-key, but he just stood there and I first off, I have no idea. Were they good questions? Were they bad questions? Were they smart questions? I have no idea because, I'm a dummy, okay? But he just listened to the question and described what the car is doing, what it's doing, and you see. And I thought to myself, I said, and there's a lot of guys that ride there with their crew chiefs and their buddies. I can't imagine the conversations on the way home.
Yeah,
those guys left because they left with, some parts and pieces, some rims, some wheels, some different things they picked up here at there at discount price. But they left there with 45 minutes of Justin Adams.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, he's a great guy. That is so cool. So as you know, we're there in Evernham this week with Justin Adams.
Yep.
Love it. That's fantastic. And this weekend, our Wing Nation television program presented by Sage Fruit, Sam Haferteep Jr. Wow, they've got you busy this week.
Seriously.
You're on everything this week. Oh, my gosh. Tough deal.
I don't have notes, but I'm
talking sprint car racing, though. Bless your heart.
Yeah,
it's
really
a tough
hard.
deal. So great stuff. What a show. What a good time. Hey, we appreciate Parker Price Miller and Scotty Thiel for joining us here on the program. More important, though, than all of that, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength.